Learning a foreign language is a valuable skill that can enrich one's personal and professional life. However, some people may wonder if learning a foreign language is as important these days as it was in the past, given the widespread use of English as a global language and the availability of technology that can translate languages instantly. In this essay, I will argue that learning a foreign language is still important and beneficial for various reasons. One reason why learning a foreign language is important is that it can enhance one's cognitive abilities and mental health. According to various studies, learning a foreign language can improve one's memory, attention, problem-solving, and creativity. It can also delay the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's disease in older adults. Therefore, learning a foreign language can help one keep their brain sharp and healthy. Another reason why learning a foreign language is important is that it can broaden one's cultural horizons and perspectives. Learning a foreign language can expose one to the diversity and richness of other cultures, and help one appreciate and respect their differences. It can also enable one to access a wider range of literature, art, and media that are not available in one's native language. Furthermore, learning a foreign language can foster cross-cultural communication and collaboration, which are essential for global peace and harmony. A final reason why learning a foreign language is important is that it can improve one's career prospects and opportunities. Learning a foreign language can make one more competitive and attractive in the job market, as many employers value bilingual or multilingual employees who can communicate with customers, partners, and colleagues from different countries and regions. It can also open up new possibilities for travel, study, and work abroad, which can enrich one's personal and professional experience. In conclusion, learning a foreign language is still important and beneficial for various reasons. It can enhance one's cognitive abilities and mental health, broaden one's cultural horizons and perspectives, and improve one's career prospects and opportunities. I believe that learning a foreign language is a worthwhile and rewarding endeavor that can enrich one's life in many ways. Learning a new language is a valuable skill that can enrich one's personal and professional life. However, some people may prefer to learn a new language in their own country, while others may choose to learn a new language in a foreign country where it is spoken natively. In this essay, I will discuss the advantages and disadvantages of learning a new language in a foreign country, and give my own opinion. One of the main advantages of learning a new language in a foreign country is that it provides an opportunity for full immersion and authentic exposure to the language and culture. By living and studying in a foreign country, one can interact with native speakers on a daily basis, and practice the language in various contexts and situations. This can help one improve their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, as well as their pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Moreover, one can learn about the customs, traditions, values, and history of the foreign country, and develop a deeper understanding and appreciation of its culture. Another advantage of learning a new language in a foreign country is that it can enhance one's personal and professional development. By learning a new language in a foreign country, one can challenge themselves, broaden their horizons, and gain new perspectives. One can also experience a different way of life, and discover new things about themselves and the world. Furthermore, one can develop valuable skills and qualities, such as independence, adaptability, confidence, and intercultural competence, which can benefit their future education and career. However, learning a new language in a foreign country also has some disadvantages. One of the main disadvantages is that it can be costly and difficult to arrange. Learning a new language in a foreign country may require a significant amount of money, time, and effort. One may have to pay for tuition fees, travel expenses, accommodation, and living costs. One may also have to deal with visa, insurance, and health issues. Additionally, one may have to cope with the challenges of finding a suitable language school, course, and teacher, and adjusting to a different education system and teaching style. Another disadvantage of learning a new language in a foreign country is that it can be stressful and overwhelming. Learning a new language in a foreign country may involve a lot of pressure and expectations, both from oneself and others. One may have to face the difficulties of learning a complex and unfamiliar language, and cope with the frustration and anxiety of making mistakes and not understanding. Moreover, one may have to deal with the problems of culture shock, homesickness, loneliness, and isolation, and overcome the barriers of communication, socialization, and integration. In conclusion, learning a new language in a foreign country has both advantages and disadvantages. On the one hand, it can offer an immersive and authentic learning experience, and foster personal and professional growth. On the other hand, it can entail a lot of costs and difficulties, and cause a lot of stress and discomfort. In my opinion, the advantages of learning a new language in a foreign country outweigh the disadvantages, as long as one is well prepared, motivated, and open-minded. I believe that learning a new language in a foreign country is a rewarding and worthwhile endeavor that can enrich one's life in many ways. Language is a powerful tool that shapes our perception of reality and influences our identity. In this essay, I will argue that language has a significant impact on culture and identity, and provide some examples to support my view. First of all, language is a means of communication that allows people to share their ideas, values, beliefs, and customs. Language reflects the culture of a group of people, as it contains words and expressions that are specific to their context and history. For example, Arabic has many words for different types of camels, as they are an important part of the desert culture. Similarly, English has many words for different types of snow, as it is a common phenomenon in the northern regions. Language also preserves the cultural heritage and traditions of a group of people, as it is used to transmit stories, myths, legends, and proverbs from generation to generation. Secondly, language is a way of expressing oneself and creating one's identity. Language allows people to convey their thoughts, feelings, emotions, and opinions. Language also enables people to assert their individuality and uniqueness, as well as their affiliation and belonging to a certain group. For example, people may use different dialects, accents, slang, or jargon to show their personality and background. People may also switch between languages or code mix to adapt to different situations and audiences. Language also influences how people perceive themselves and others, as it shapes their worldview and attitudes. For example, some languages have gendered nouns and pronouns, which may affect how people think about gender roles and stereotypes. In conclusion, language is a crucial factor that affects culture and identity. Language reflects and preserves the culture of a group of people, as well as expresses and creates the identity of an individual. Language is not only a system of symbols and rules, but also a social and cultural phenomenon that connects and shapes us. The idea of having only one language in the world has been debated for a long time. Some people think that it would be beneficial for communication, culture, and business, while others argue that it would be detrimental for diversity, creativity, and identity. In this essay, I will analyze the advantages and disadvantages of having a single global language. One of the main advantages of having one language in the world is that it would facilitate communication between different cultures. Language is a key factor in cultural identity and understanding. Having a common language would eliminate the barriers and misunderstandings that often arise from language differences. For example, 2 years ago, a Canadian tourist was able to connect with an Argentinian soccer fan after a game, thanks to their ability to speak English, the current global language. A global language would also promote peace and cooperation among nations, as people would be more likely to empathize and respect each other. Another advantage of having one language in the world is that it would simplify international trade and business. With the rise of globalization and neoliberalism, there is an increasing need for effective and accurate communication across borders. A global language would reduce the costs and risks of translation and interpretation, and make it easier for businesses to access new markets and opportunities. According to a study by Lohman, language barriers are a significant deterrent to bilateral trade. A global language would also enhance learning opportunities, as more people could access and benefit from educational resources that are currently limited by language. However, having one language in the world also has some disadvantages. One of the main disadvantages is that it would lead to the loss of cultural diversity and richness. Language is an important part of culture, and losing the diversity of languages would mean losing the diversity of cultures. Different languages have different ways of expressing ideas, emotions, and values, and they reflect the history and traditions of their speakers. For instance, French was once the global language, and it influenced the arts, literature, and diplomacy of many countries. Having one language in the world would also limit creativity and innovation, as different languages can inspire new perspectives and solutions. Another disadvantage of having one language in the world is that it could be difficult to learn and use for people who are not native speakers. Learning a new language is not easy, especially for adults, and it requires a lot of time and effort. Some people may not have the motivation or the resources to learn the global language, and they may feel excluded or discriminated against. Moreover, using a single language may not be sufficient or appropriate for all situations and contexts. There may be nuances and subtleties that can get lost or misinterpreted in a single language, and there may be situations where using a different language is more suitable or respectful. In conclusion, having only one language in the world has both pros and cons. It would make communication, culture, and business easier and more efficient, but it would also reduce diversity, creativity, and identity. Therefore, it is important to weigh the benefits and challenges of having a single global language, and to respect and appreciate the diversity of languages and cultures that exist in the world. Learning foreign languages is a valuable skill that can enrich one's personal and professional life. However, some people argue that with the advancement of computer translation technology, learning foreign languages is a waste of time. I disagree with this statement, and I believe that learning foreign languages has many benefits that cannot be replaced by computers. First of all, learning foreign languages can enhance one's cognitive abilities and cultural awareness. Studies have shown that bilingual or multilingual people have better memory, problem solving, and creativity skills than monolingual people. Learning foreign languages also exposes one to different cultures, perspectives, and values, which can foster tolerance, empathy, and respect for diversity. These are essential qualities for living in a globalized and interconnected world. Secondly, learning foreign languages can improve one's communication and interpersonal skills. Computer translation technology may be fast and accurate, but it cannot capture the nuances, emotions, and contexts of human language. Learning foreign languages can help one to understand the meaning and intention behind the words, as well as the body language, gestures, and tone of voice that accompany them. This can enable one to communicate more effectively and appropriately with people from different backgrounds and situations. Thirdly, learning foreign languages can open up more opportunities and possibilities for one's personal and professional development. Computer translation technology may be convenient and accessible, but it cannot replace the human factor that is often required in many fields and domains. Learning foreign languages can help one to access more information, resources, and networks that are otherwise unavailable or limited. It can also enhance one's competitiveness and employability in the global market, as well as one's enjoyment and satisfaction in life. In conclusion, I disagree with the statement that learning foreign languages is a waste of time. I think that learning foreign languages has many advantages that computer translation technology cannot offer. Learning foreign languages can boost one's cognitive and cultural skills, improve one's communication and interpersonal skills, and expand one's opportunities and possibilities in life. Therefore, I believe that learning foreign languages is a worthwhile and rewarding endeavor that should be encouraged and supported. Learning a second language is a valuable skill that can open many doors for personal and professional development. However, there are different opinions on how to achieve this goal. Some people think that the best way to learn a second language is to live in the country where that language is spoken, while others disagree. In this essay, I will discuss both views and give my own opinion. On the one hand, living in a foreign country can offer many advantages for language learners. Firstly, they can be exposed to the language in various contexts and situations, such as daily conversations, media, culture, and education. This can help them improve their listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills, as well as their vocabulary and grammar. Secondly, they can interact with native speakers and learn from their feedback, corrections, and expressions. This can help them develop their pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. Thirdly, they can immerse themselves in the culture and lifestyle of the country and gain a deeper understanding of the language and its nuances. This can help them appreciate the diversity and richness of the language and its speakers. On the other hand, living in a foreign country is not a necessary condition for learning a second language well. Firstly, there are many alternative ways to access the language without leaving one's home country, such as online courses, books, podcasts, movies, and apps. These resources can provide a similar or even better quality of input and practice than living abroad, depending on the learner's level, motivation, and preferences. Secondly, there are many challenges and difficulties that can hinder the language learning process in a foreign country, such as culture shock, homesickness, isolation, discrimination, and cost. These factors can affect the learner's mental and emotional well-being, as well as their motivation and interest in the language. Thirdly, there are many other factors that influence the language learning outcome, such as the learner's aptitude, attitude, personality, learning style, and goals. These factors can vary from person to person and determine how effectively and efficiently they can learn a second language, regardless of where they live. In conclusion, I think that living in a foreign country can be a beneficial and enjoyable way to learn a second language, but it is not the only or the best way. I believe that the most important thing is to have a positive and proactive attitude towards the language and to use a variety of methods and resources to practice and improve it. Therefore, I agree with the statement to some extent. But I also acknowledge that there are other valid and effective ways to learn a second language well. Language diversity is a valuable aspect of human culture and identity. However, some languages are in danger of extinction due to various factors, such as globalization, migration, and assimilation. Therefore, there is a debate on whether governments should allocate funds and resources to protect and promote minority languages. In this essay, I will discuss both sides of the argument and give my own perspective. On the one hand, some people believe that governments have a responsibility to preserve minority languages as part of their cultural heritage and diversity. They argue that languages are not only a means of communication, but also a reflection of the history, values, and worldview of different communities. By supporting minority languages, governments can foster a sense of pride and identity among the speakers, as well as enhance their social and economic opportunities. For example, bilingual education can improve the academic performance and cognitive abilities of minority language learners, as well as increase their employability and intercultural competence. Furthermore, minority languages can also contribute to the scientific and artistic development of humanity, as they may contain unique knowledge and expressions that are not found in other languages. On the other hand, some people think that governments should not invest in preserving minority languages, as they consider this to be a waste of resources and a hindrance to progress. They claim that languages are dynamic and constantly evolving, and that some languages are bound to disappear naturally over time. Therefore, governments should not interfere with this process, but rather focus on more urgent and practical issues, such as health, education, and infrastructure. Moreover, they contend that minority languages can pose a challenge to the social cohesion and integration of a country, as they may create barriers and divisions among different groups of people. For instance, language conflicts can lead to political and ethnic tensions, violence, and discrimination. Hence, they suggest that governments should promote a common language that can unify and facilitate the communication and cooperation of all citizens. In my opinion, I agree that governments should play a role in preserving minority languages, as I believe that they are an important and irreplaceable part of human culture and diversity. However, I also acknowledge that governments have limited resources and competing priorities, and that they cannot support every language that exists. Therefore, I think that governments should adopt a balanced and selective approach, based on the criteria of the number, status, and vitality of the speakers, as well as the cultural and scientific value of the language. Moreover, I think that governments should also collaborate with other stakeholders, such as international organizations, NGOs, communities, and individuals, to share the responsibility and the benefits of language preservation. In conclusion, this essay has discussed the two views on whether governments should invest in preserving minority languages, and has given my own opinion. I have argued that governments should support minority languages, but with a balanced and selective strategy, and in partnership with other actors. I hope that this essay has provided some useful insights and ideas for you. Living in a country where you have to speak a foreign language can be challenging and frustrating for many people. However, I disagree with the statement that it can cause serious social and practical problems. In this essay, I will explain why I think that the language barrier can be overcome with some efforts and benefits. First of all, living in a foreign country can be a great opportunity to learn a new language and culture. By speaking the local language, one can communicate with the native people, understand their customs and values, and appreciate their diversity and uniqueness. Learning a foreign language can also enhance one's cognitive and creative skills, as well as broaden one's horizons and perspectives. For example, many studies have shown that bilingual or multilingual people have better memory, problem-solving, and critical thinking abilities than monolingual people. Moreover, learning a foreign language can also open up new doors for personal and professional development, as it can increase one's employability, mobility, and intercultural competence. Secondly, living in a foreign country does not necessarily mean that one has to face serious social and practical problems due to the language barrier. With the advancement of technology and globalization, there are many ways to overcome the difficulties and inconveniences caused by the lack of linguistic proficiency. For instance, one can use online translators, dictionaries, or apps to help with the translation and interpretation of words, phrases, or sentences. One can also use visual aids, gestures, or body language to convey one's meaning and intention. Furthermore, one can also seek help from other people who speak the same or a similar language, such as fellow immigrants, expatriates, or tourists. These people can provide support, guidance, and assistance in various situations, such as finding accommodation, accessing public services, or dealing with emergencies. In conclusion, I disagree that living in a country where you have to speak a foreign language can cause serious social and practical problems. I believe that the language barrier can be overcome with some efforts and benefits, such as learning a new language and culture, enhancing one's cognitive and creative skills, and using technology and social networks. Therefore, I think that living in a foreign country can be a rewarding and enriching experience, rather than a problematic and stressful one.